Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. So today's episode, we're going to talk about Biden's anti-freedom team. Now, it's supposed to be his transition team, but we're going to talk about how anti-freedom these people are. Now, keep in mind, guys, when people make certain announcements, sometimes they'll pull them back, sometimes they won't. Sometimes they throw the idea out there, and they just try to see how far it can float before someone shoots it down. So keep that in mind. Now, Biden did walk back his lockdown, his nationwide lockdown, obviously, because his doctors floated that out there, and now that he walked it back, Biden himself walked it back. So, okay, the idea is still out there, so keep that in mind, or keep it in the back of your head. So, let's start with the first one. Before we start with the first anti-freedom member, let's start out with freedom of speech, guys, has been under attack for a few years now, right? So it seems to be that anytime you say something somebody doesn't like, especially if you're a celebrity, they want to cancel you. Okay, they don't like what Chris Pratt, who's never said a word, they don't like him because he goes to a church that might be homophobic or anti-gay or whatever the fucking bullshit lingo they use now, and they want to cancel him. Meanwhile, the guy's never said anything, and his church actually has never been founded on those accusations. But yet they still wanted to cancel him and get rid of him from Guardian of the Galaxies and the next Indiana Jones movie and the next Jurassic Park movie. They're trying to cancel this man's career just because of a church he's affiliated with who still has been unfounded. Their anti-gay bullshit's been unfounded, right? So now, he's not even saying anything and they're attacking him. They attack people just for attending churches because the pastor might think differently. The pastor might say something as simple as, I don't believe in gay marriage. Right then and there, they're attacking his free speech and his opinion on gay marriage. So whatever you have to say now, you're being attacked. Oh my God, you can't say that only women have period. That's homophobic. That's anti-transgender or transphobic. If you say only women can get pregnant, they attack you for that. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, only women can get pregnant. Let's clear that up right now. Only women can have periods. Only women can have menstrual cramps. All right? So let's get that out there right now. Now, that being said, and I do not care if this video gets demonetized, guys. I really don't. All right? So I'm going to say what I'm going to say in this video because some people need to fucking hear it. Enough already with the bullshit. If somebody has an opinion you don't like, you could say, oh, okay, and walk away, or all right, man, you're an asshole, and walk away. But destroying their careers because you don't believe in their ideology, or they don't believe in your ideology, rather, you attack them. That's bullshit, and that's where freedom of speech is taking a hit. Enter Richard Stengel. Richard Stengel is an American editor, if you will, a journalist. He says that freedom of speech should be redefined, and that hate speech should be made a crime. So, hate speech should be made a crime. So if somebody sat there and said, listen, only women can have periods, that's why Tampax are for women, that could be considered a hate speech because the trans community will make it so. And not all of them, guys. Let's get that out of the way. Not all transgender people, not all gay people think the same. But there is a large community out there that will fight you tooth and nail. In that community, the idiots, the psychopaths, the people who want to be heard but don't want to hear you, they'll attack you for saying Tampax are for women or tampons are for women, right? And so they can make that a hate speech and possibly throw you in jail, according to this guy, Richard Stengel. Okay, so now keep that in mind, guys, that the anti-freedom team that he's putting together is insane. Insane, all right? The guy, Richard Stengel, goes as far as to say, well, Imam, which is like a Muslim priest, if you will, asked me, why do people burn the Quran in the U.S.? Or why should it be okay for people to burn the Quran? Why is that part of freedom of speech? And I'm paraphrasing. Richard Stengel's reaction was like, wow, he's right. Why? Why should it be? Well, people burn the Bible, and people burn the American flag. Are we going to make that a hate speech? Americans are a specific type of people who live in America. If you're burning the American flag, that can be considered a hate speech. This is me thinking like them. All right. So now, if you're burning the American flag, can't we just make that a hate crime because they're hating Americans? Because Americans is a type of people. We are. We're different from people in the UK. We are different from people in Australia, and we're different from people in Africa. But we're not going to go that far. We're not idiots like that. But this is the left and their bullshit. So keep that in mind. If this Richard Stengel guy stays on Biden's transition team, he stays on Biden's transition team, guys, we're going to have a problem because he's going to start pushing his bullshit agenda. He's going to start protecting this group and that group, but not this group and that group. Get what I'm saying? Our freedom of speech is under attack, and it's going to be under attack in a big way should this guy stay on Biden's transition team and Biden makes him the head of U.S. media or something like that. I forgot what the real name was, but the head of U.S. media, government media, something like that. He puts him in charge, we're screwed. And if he puts him in charge, we're going to have to fight. Not that we're screwed, sorry. We're going to have to fight, guys, because that is the fight of your life. Freedom of speech being taken away, we've seen that before, and I'm pretty sure it's called fucking Germany, okay? And people weren't allowed to speak out against Hitler, or you were thrown in with the Jews, or you were put in another camp. Here's the other issue, guys, the other anti-freedom move. Biden has said himself on national TV that he was going to mandate mask wearing nationwide. Now, as far as fines and getting in trouble and going to jail goes, that wasn't mentioned, but he said he was going to mandate it. So I guess if he mandated, people can then, walking down the street, say some shit to you. Oh, you better put your mask on, it's mandated by Biden. I'd tell him, go fuck yourself. Simple as that. But this is where it gets interesting. If he mandates the mask, now people are going to be more brazen to say some shit to you. Now, a lady the other day, I'm not saying it's right, but a 60-year-old lady the other day got her ass handed to her because she said something to two kids about wearing a mask while they were on the subway. Now, in the subway, in the MTA system, you're supposed to put a mask on. I'm not, but you're supposed to. So now, the lady said something to these two kids, and instead of the two kids doing the right thing and ignoring her and walking away, they kicked the shit out of her. You might have more of that going on, guys, if you start talking out of your face. If you start telling people to do some shit that they don't want to do, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a lot more fighting. So, the mask, me personally, should be a personal responsibility. If you want to wear it, fine. If you don't, fine. Should not be making people wear something they don't want to wear. Because, fuck you. This is America. This is a free country. You're starting to take freedoms away. Hence, anti-freedom. They're telling you what to do and how to do it and when to do it. Now we're sitting here. And listen, guys, as preppers, we prep for some shit like this. This is why I talk about it on my channel. Because we're watching the demise or the possible demise of a country because of the shit leadership out there. Cuomo, Biden, if you will, de Blasio, Kamala Harris, the other governor, Whitmer. These assholes are running our state, city, and country. They're trying to take away our freedom, guys, and they're doing it by using public health as the excuse. Mask mandate, again, is bullshit, so you got to be aware of where you're going. Obviously, if you're going into a store has more rights because it's their store. I get that. But for them to tell us you have to wear a mask just to walk around in a park, camping, hiking, whatever it is, you got to wear a mask now? That's out. So they can kill that idea, and I would say that some of you do what you want. I'm not saying don't wear the mask. I'm not saying wear the mask. I'm saying do what you want. All right, next on the list, mandatory vaccines. Now, as of right now, guys, no one is making vaccines mandatory. No one's even talking about it except for the New York State Bar Association. They put in a resolution about a week ago, and I spoke about this in one of my videos, 2 videos ago. They put in a resolution mandating people to take the COVID vaccination. But it was a recommendation. It wasn't an ironclad, you guys have to do this. It's a recommendation for them to push up the ladder, if you will, to the New York State governor. So it was just a recommendation. Here's the problem. When you get a bunch of lawyer nerds sitting around a table going, let's see how we could piss off the rest of the fucking public. Oh, let's mandate a resolution. Let's put a resolution together mandating people to get a vaccine. keep in mind it was a recommendation. It wasn't an ironclad rule. So I know a lot of people are talking about that, and a lot of people have gotten it wrong. Now, I touched on it, and when I looked at the video again, I'm like, maybe I should have explained it a little more. So here's me explaining a little more what the New York State Bar Association did. So what they did was, in the resolution, guys, right, in the resolution recommendation, if you will, there is a limitation to that resolution. The limitation is, if the public doesn't voluntarily take the vaccine and the immunity factor doesn't reach where it needs to be, then the states or state, New York State, can mandate a vaccine for everyone. So it didn't just say kids, it said everyone in New York State, or everyone in the country, sorry, not New York State, in the country. So if enough people don't take the vaccine, they're recommending that people, or states, make it mandatory that you take the vaccine. So let's make that clear. It's not that they're saying right out of the gates when the vaccine becomes available, you're taking it. No, if the immunity level doesn't reach where it needs to be, that they mandate everyone to take it. Which is, again, going to be a hard fucking no with a lot of states. It's going to be a hard no with a lot of people. People, thank God, guys. I mean, thank God with today that there are not a lot of dummies out there. A lot of people saying there's no way I'm taking a vaccine. There are people who are pro-vaccine who are saying, I'm not taking that vaccine. It only took 9 months, less than 9 months for them to develop it. So, read an article on a lady talking about the RNA portion of the vaccine and how it's safe because it breaks down so easily if it doesn't attach itself to the receptors that need to be attached to affect the COVID. She goes on this whole thing in the article about, well, the RNA is safe, the vaccine should be safe. Keep in mind, guys, keyword is should be safe. People shouldn't have a problem taking it. And at the last part of the article, I got to find the article again. And this is a doctor, by the way, a scientist doctor who's explaining this. And at the last part of the article, she goes, they ask her, will you take the vaccine? She says, no, I have to see where it goes first. Bitch, you just sat there and told us it was safe and there's no reason for us to worry. And the last part of the article, she goes, no, I'm not taking it. I have to see where it goes. I have to see how effective it is what she said. Well, if a fucking doctor that just sat through a whole interview telling us how good it was, how safe it was, at the end goes, no, she's not taking it. Guys, you better wake the fuck up. You better not take it either. Now, I get it. Some of you are going to be between a rock and a hard place with your job. Some of you are going to have to take this vaccine. And some of you are going to make the hard decision and quit. Just know that. You're going to be put between a rock and a hard place with this vaccine. It might not be as soon as it come out, guys. It might be 2 years or 3 years from now. But you will be put between a rock and a hard place when it comes to choosing whether or not to take this vaccine. Keep in mind, guys, they always use this language, constitutional law. They always say public health crisis are well established in constitutional law. That is not the U.S. Constitution. Please get that, those two thoughts separate. Just because they say, well, in the Constitution, no, it's not the Constitution, it's constitutional law. Constitutional law and the United States Constitution are two very different things. Constitutional laws are a variety of laws throughout the United States that set precedents and rulings in favor or not in favor of whatever the case was. The United States Constitution is a standalone constitution, guys. It stands on its own. So don't let some asshole tell you, well, public health crisis is in the United States Constitution. It is not. It is a conglomerate of different laws or cases that came down from whatever case it might have been, right? Massachusetts versus Vernier, just making that one up, or Wisconsin versus the Stanley family. Cases like that, guys. So now, and those are example cases and not real cases, by the way. But that's my point is these are just cases throughout the United States, and they say, well, it's public health crisis is protected by constitutional law. Constitutional law, not the United States Constitution. The United States Constitution is being trampled on by a lot of these constitutional laws. That's why you have to go to court and fight them. The vaccine being pushed on you, mandated on you, is against the Constitution. It's for constitutional laws, but against the United States Constitution. It's depending on your freedoms to tell you to say yes or no. Public health crisis, I get it, guys. Public health crisis, Something like the Ebola or something like the virus from Contagion. I keep going back to that, where it has a 30% mortality rate. I can understand that, right? And even then in that movie, it took 18 months for them to develop a vaccine. Not 9, or less than 9, sorry. So keep in mind, if you had a virus like that, I'd be like, all right, a vaccine is needed. So let's get with it. But the mortality rate on this is 2%, not 30. Just saying. Keep that in the back of your head, guys. Constitutional law and the United States Constitution are two different things. Do not let them try to confuse you and say, well, constitutional law protects us and we have to take the vaccine. No. You're still trampling on the United States Constitution. You're still trampling on our freedoms, which is going against the United States Constitution. The United States Constitution, guys, has been picked at for decades, if not centuries. Pick that until it's not there anymore, and they're going to continue to do it. This is why you have to go to court. This is why you have to fight. Because if we sit back and go, fuck it, let this happen, before you know it, they'll be injecting fucking vaccines in us just because they want to see if it works. Other than that, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching. You can like and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. You can also head over to podcast or my podcast channel. Just type in the Angry Prepper on whatever listening stream you use. And join me over there as well. I'm going to be converting all my videos now, not some, but all my videos into podcasts. Let me walk that back. Some videos I'm not gonna bother putting podcasts, but a lot of my videos are now going to be on podcast form because I just figured out how to do that. So hopefully I'll see you guys over there as well. If you don't want to look at my face, you can also listen to me on podcast. All right, guys. Thank you for watching.